Hello and welcome to Guidance Posts. I'm your host, M. Everett K. And today I want to talk to you about finding the light switch in what I term everyday darkness. There's a kind of darkness people don't often talk about. It's not the dramatic darkness. It's not the movie scene version where your entire life collapses in one night and you're out in the rain on your knees crying out, waiting for the cue of thunder. I mean everyday darkness. The low to mid-level static, the kind that hums underneath your normal everyday life. You still go to work, you still pay the bills, you still answer messages, you still make dinner, scroll your phone, laugh at a meme, share the meme, pretend you are fine, and keep moving throughout your day. But underneath all of that, something feels dim, something feels off, something feels heavy, like I don't want to keep living this way, but I also do not know what to do next. And I think a lot of us are stuck in that everyday darkness. And it could just be the things that happen to us every day. And sometimes you feel like you're in a season where something half major happens, your car breaks down, something wrong with the kids at school, your boss is on your back. All these things compound into that everyday darkness. Now, it's not always crisis, it's not always collapse, it's not always obvious enough for other people to notice, but you notice, you feel it. Sometimes it's just waking up tired before your day even starts, right? Sometimes it's sitting in your car before work and just dreading going in. You're bracing yourself even before you clock in and begin your day. Sometimes it's staying in a pattern because the pattern is familiar, and familiar equals safety to your nervous system. But sometimes it's wanting a new life while still carrying the old one around like a bucket full of rocks. And more on that in a little bit. But the strange part is, from the outside, your life still moves forward. It looks functional. It looks like anybody else's life around you, right? But inside, you can feel it. You know you're not really moving forward. You are coping, you are managing, you are enduring, you're surviving the room, you're surviving the day, you're surviving these wobbles in your life. But you're not yet finding the door to that new life, to the different experience, to the better life that you want and you deserve, right? And when you're in that kind of everyday darkness long enough, you can start to believe there is no way out. That this is how life is supposed to be. This is how it's going to be. There isn't going to be any change. Every day seems like the last, for better or worse, little bit degrees one way or the other, but virtually pretty much the same. So you try to find ways to be happy during those days, or you medicate and you cope and you just try to survive it, hoping, believing that something better will soon come to you. But in your day, you are not finding that door to the next new, better thing. And when you're in that kind of everyday darkness long enough, you start to believe that there isn't a way out. Not because there truly isn't one, but because you cannot see where to begin. You don't know where to begin. Sometimes the issue is not that you're weak, it's not that you're lazy, and it's not that you don't want change badly enough. Sometimes you are just simply disoriented. You don't know what to do, you don't know where to start, you don't know where to go from here. You're standing in a dark room swinging at bats. Things are coming at you on a daily basis. You don't know when the next catastrophe or low-level catastrophe is coming from. So you're just in there swinging at the bats, taking care of everything that comes at you as it comes at you, and we're mostly reacting at that point. You just start swinging. You hear movement, you feel impact, you sense a threat, and you react. You start swinging. You swing through your anxiety. You swing through your overthinking. You swing through explaining yourself at work. You swing through trying to fix other people at work and in your personal life. You swing through numbing, through scrolling, through fantasizing about a better life. You swing through clinging, through quitting, through restarting, promising yourself that Monday will be different, right? And all that motion can feel like survival. But that motion is what I call rocking horse motion. It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of worry, it's a lot of energy expended, but there is no forward movement. There is no progression. It is just daily darkness motion and movement. And motion is not the same thing as orientation. And this is where the light switch matters. Because when you are in that everyday darkness, the goal is not to sprint deeper into the room, just swinging and trying to force your way into that new reality. The goal is to find the light in the darkness. And in everyday darkness, there is a light switch. It may not solve the entire problem instantly. It may not hand you the 5-year plan that you have no idea how to come up with on yourself. It may not magically remove the bad job, the grief, the fear, the loneliness, the uncertainty, and the old patterns of that life. But it does something very important. It helps you see where you are right now. And once you can see where you are, you can stop swinging blindly at every perceived threat. And that is the beginning of personal sovereignty. It's not control, it's orientation. Because control says, I need to force the whole room to change right now for me to be happy, for me to feel secure, for me to feel safe. But orientation says, first, I need to know where I'm standing. And that is the light switch. So, how do you find it? You begin by naming the darkness you're in. Not dramatically, not poetically, not as a final judgment on your life, but just honestly, where are you standing right now? This is everyday darkness. This is the feeling of being stuck in a life that I no longer feel aligned with. This is the part of me that wants a way out, but does not know where to start. Unnamed darkness becomes atmosphere, right? It becomes normal. You stop seeing it as a condition and as something to move through, and you start believing it as just how your life is. You say, I guess this is my life now. All these problems, day-to-day basis, worry, health problems, whatever it may be, all these things seem to just compound. All these wobbles are just there on a constant, low-grade, annoying basis, and this is just the darkness that you're trying to move through, and you don't really know what to do, how to get out of it. So what you need to do is name it. That is the first reach toward the wall where the switch is. Then you pause, because the old pattern wants immediate motion. It wants reaction. The pause says, before I move, I need to be able to see. And that is where you ask the grounding question. What is actually happening right now? Not 5 years ago, not 6 months from now, not what your fear says this means about your entire future. Right now, am I in danger? Or am I just activated? Am I trapped or am I overwhelmed? Am I being called to act or am I being pulled into an old reflex and therefore an old reaction? This is how you stop feeding those bats and stop your blind run into that dark room. Then you define the objective and keep it small. When you are in everyday darkness, the mind tries to solve your whole life at once. Fix my purpose, fix my relationships, heal everything, become someone new by Thursday. No wonder you feel frozen, right? You feel stuck. The objective is not solve my entire existence. That's impossible to do in one motion. The objective is safety, stability, then movement, right? Can I rest? Can I stop making the decision while I'm exhausted? Can I come home back to my body and be present in my mind so I can actually help myself see what the next true move is? You know, it's not the perfect move then. It's not the impressive one. It's not the move that finally gets the whole universe to understand your side of the story and why you deserve a better life. Maybe it's just silence. Maybe it's not sending that text message. Maybe it's admitting this is no longer aligned with me. Maybe it is placing one old rock down from that bucket. And to explain that, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I look at our old life with all our past regrets and grief and the stuff that we may be carrying around. It is basically like a 5-gallon bucket. That's us. You know, we are a bucket, and all of our experiences are rocks. And for some of us, we carry each rock that we went through along with us along our journey. And they are basically help us to remember or reintroduce ourselves into that realm, I guess. I will have another teaching on this called Laster-day, so look for that one. But basically, these are things that happen to us that we have not integrated or we have not been able to release, so we're carrying it with us. So the theory is we have a bucket full of rocks. And for us to get new, for us to receive the new reality, for us to receive better things, we have to put those rocks down. Usually one at a time. Sometimes you can get rid of a few rocks at one time. But the universe can't give you something new and something different if you're still hanging on to, if you still have attachments to those old rocks and you're carrying them around like luggage. Because sometimes the reason we cannot receive anything new is not that life is withholding it, like I said. Sometimes the bucket is just full of old grief, old stories, old roles, old resentments, old hopes that expired but still take up space. Like in my case, they were collapsed assumptions of a reality that I thought was going to be there in old relationships. And I'm still hanging on to that because it ended not how I wanted it to. So therefore, until in my mind I can rationalize why it ended or give myself a little solace and comfort going forward, integration, so I can set those rocks down. I don't need to carry it. I don't have to have that why or what if or what have you. Those can be really heavy rocks and they're hard to put down. But we say, I want something new, but our hands are full, our bucket is full of these old rocks. So therefore we don't have the capacity to receive something new, especially if those rocks were tied to a lesson you were supposed to learn. And until you learn that lesson, you cannot integrate it and thus put the rocks down. So there are steps to releasing the rocks. Another way to put it is you cannot build a new house if your old house is still standing. Mental magic will not do it for you. And as I said in a previous video, mental magic is where you receive an insight or a revelation of some sort. It's like, yes, this is great. This helps me see in a new perspective. This is for me. I believe it. And therefore, it should be automatic for me without any work, without any integration work, without any release work. That is mental magic. So if I believe it, it should automatically happen. And in my experience, that's not really how things work. You do have to put some effort into releasing these things. So mental magic won't do it. You cannot affirm rotten beams into becoming a new sanctuary for you. The root has to transform. And that begins when you stop asking, how do I escape this feeling as fast as possible? And that's where coping comes in medicating and things of that nature. And you start asking, what is this darkness showing me that I have been avoiding? And that's usually, there's something there, either a lesson or a problem that we're not seeing clearly, that we're not taking steps to actively resolve. So that compounds the everyday darkness as well. And that kind of darkness is not punishment by the universe. Sometimes it's a signal that a structure is losing its load-bearing capacity for your life, that a pattern has reached the end of its usefulness, that your nervous system is tired of calling survival a personality, right? So if you keep entering the same patterns or you have the same feelings and you feel stuck, and you stop and analyze it, name the wobbles, and then narrow it to something that you can do one step at a time to clarify and to resolve. In fairness, none of this happens gracefully in the moment, right? Nobody pauses like a monk. Most of us pause like a nervous system holding a flashlight with dead batteries, tapping against our palm and hoping the light comes on, you know, or we pray to it. Oh God, please let these batteries work just one more time, please, while we're standing in the darkness, hoping for the light. The emergency plan your brain drafts at 1:17 in the morning is not wisdom. It is a committee of one, poorly caffeinated, voting unanimously for the worst option in the room, right? We try and solve our life because we can't sleep. So therefore, we're just churning our everyday darkness around and around in our heads, trying to future-proof it, or we're lamenting on the past. How can we fix the past so we can move forward, right? And that is normal. That's not failure. That's just what it looks like before the light comes on. And that is the shift from swinging blindly in the dark to turning on the light switch and seeing where you are. And that's from going from reflex to orientation, from panic motion to sovereign movement, from I have to fix everything right now to I need to find the light switch so I can move cleanly and appropriately for what I want to accomplish. And the light switch is not hidden in some mystical place. It is found in the pause. It is found in the honest naming of the wobble. It is found in the question, what is actually happening right now? It is found in the body coming back online and being present in the moment. It is found in choosing the next true move without betraying yourself. Because once the light comes on, even just a little, the entire room changes. The bats may still be there, the mess may still be there, the door may not be wide open yet, but now you can see. And when you can see, you can choose. And that is where your power comes in. You do not need more control, as I said, you need orientation. So the next time you feel that low hum of everyday darkness, do not try to solve your whole life. Work the ladder, one rung at a time. So, rung 1, name the wobble. Say it plainly, this is everyday darkness. I am not powerless, I am just disoriented. Then create the pause. Hand on your chest, the counter, the steering wheel, whatever you got. Come back to your body and stop the mind from scrolling itself with these thoughts. Stop the reflex before it moves your hands for you, so to speak. And then define the objective. Ask, what is actually happening right now? And then narrow it. Do I need safety first? Stability first? Keep that small. What is the objective right now? I'm activated. I'm scared. I'm worried. And one line that I came up with, and I don't think I've shared this yet, so I will now. When we're worrying and when we're stressing, one key thing to relax your nervous system, to kind of ease your mind and stop those mental loops, is think of this phrase. If it doesn't have to be dealt with now, then you don't have to deal with it now. And what that means is, if you're worried about paying your mortgage, let's say you're a week out and you're short on the mortgage, and that is a scary place, been there. What are you going to do? Okay, now if you're getting anxious and stressed out or whatever because you can't stop thinking about, can't stop worrying about it, can't stop figuring out, and you're not using the floor ladder, you're not finding your next true move, remember that. Is there anything you can do about it right now? Can you fix the situation right now? And clearly in that moment, no. Today, can you do anything about it? No. So don't worry about it. Put it in the background. We will formulate a plan, but we don't have to stress about it. We don't have to freak out about it. We don't have to react to the situation right now. Same thing if you have a court date coming up and it's a month away and you're freaking out about it every day. Can you do anything about it right now? Or the floor ladder, what can you do about it? What is the next true move? What is your objective? What is the next step? So, that's a way to relax your nervous system and to bring yourself back into the moment to where you're not panicking and running down that dark hallway again. And then the next step or the next rung would be choose your next true move. It's not the biggest move. It's not the impressive one, right? It's just the one that you can do right now to ease the situation, to give yourself some sort of comfort, some sort of release, some sort of soothing, so you're not panicking, you're not swirling, you're not flailing, you're not grasping at the situation. Even if it's just silence, or if it's just waiting until morning. I will sleep on it and we'll deal with it then, after I eat, after I rest, after I watch something silly on TV, to reduce my nervous system's anxiety. And then release what's expendable. Name one rock from the bucket that you're ready to put down. Not the impressive one, not the big one, not the one that you've been struggling for decades over, because that's too big. You're not ready for that one yet, but a small rock. Name one that is still hanging over you, right? Something that you really want a new version to enter your life, but you still have an attachment and you're still holding on to that old rock. So pick a rock, lay that down after the other steps, and then move forward from there. And following those steps, that is the light switch in the darkness, to give you your next true move, to see where you currently are. And you may be surprised how often the way forward does not appear because you forced the darkness to disappear, that you dissipated the darkness. It appears because you finally stopped swinging long enough in the dark to see where you truly are and what your next true move really was. So there is a light switch there, and I urge you to find it. And if you need more help, my book, Lessons from the Floor, What I Learned While Flat on My Back in a Chocolate Crime Scene, goes deeper into these methods and how I came about them and how to actually use them in your daily life when this everyday darkness arrives. Please check out phoenix-oracle.com if you are looking for more specific information tailored to you and your patterns and your blueprints for your life. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.